Of debate, advocacy and controversy, the House of Representatives has passed the state police bill, bringing Nigeria one step closer to a major overhaul of its security architecture. Supporters say decentralized policing will help states respond more effectively to rising insecurity, improve intelligence gathering and strengthen community-based law enforcement. But there are warnings that state police could become a tool for political intimidation and abuse if adequate safeguards are not put in place. This is Politics Tonight. Welcome and thank you for joining me. I'm Olajumoke Olatunji. For decades, Nigeria has operated a centrally controlled police system. But with insecurity persisting across many parts of the country, calls for a different approach have grown louder. So is this the breakthrough Nigeria needs in its fight against crime and insecurity? Or are there new risks that could emerge from policing at a state level? To help us understand the implications of these historic developments, let's speak with Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, who doubles as the chairman of the Constitution Review Committee. Right, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, thank you very much for joining me. Good evening to you.
Chief of Staff just called.
Honorable, are you there? Can you hear me? So first, I would like to say well done to you and your colleagues for doing your own part. And I say that because many Nigerians appreciate the urgency and priority accorded to the State Police Bill by the National Assembly. Also, a larger part of the population is optimistic that state police will bring security closer to local communities because officers will better understand the terrain, will better understand the culture and local dynamics. But why is that such an important advantage? Thank you for staying with us, everyone. A historic moment today as the House of Reps passes the State Police Bill. And to help us understand the implications of this historic development, I'm joined now by Deputy Speaker of the House of Reps, Benjamin Kalu, who doubles as the chairman of the Constitution Review Committee. Right, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, thank you very much for joining me on the program. I was saying well done to you and your colleagues for doing your own part. And I say that because many Nigerians appreciate the urgency and priority accorded to the State Police Bill by the National Assembly. According to you, you're very optimistic that state police will bring security closer to local communities because officers will better understand the terrain, culture, and local dynamics. Why is that such an important advantage?
As you know, the nature of our security challenges in this country is complex. So when you think about securing over 220 million people and securing a landmass of over 920,000 square kilometers, what we have needs more re-engineering, it needs more men, it needs more material. You need re-strategizing, and these things don't happen without laying the foundation upon which they can stand. There has to be a policy shift. There has to be a shift in our enactments, in our legislations. And for years, the Parliament had been battling with how to unbundle the centralization of policing from Abuja down to where it is needed most. And the reason being that the response time is key towards curbing the incidents of crime. And I'm happy that though over the years we have claimed that the Nigerian state is not matured to go into state policing. But the question really is not about maturity. The question is about federalism. We chose federalism. And because we chose federalism, it means that all the elements that go with federalism should be embraced by our state. And police as an institution will deliver better when it is broken down to the community level, like I said during my presentation. That we will see more, we will observe more, we will investigate more, we'll feel more secured. When your brothers who speak your language, who understand your culture, who understand your religion, who knows your terrain, who knows the geography of the place they are monitoring, is in charge. Unlike when strangers are put in barracks and they come with their culture, cross-culture conflict, they don't know how to observe who is who. And I'm happy that at the moment there is a consensus, between the presidency and the governors forum, between the public. Nigerians are happy. The energy around the country is that something is being done visibly by the government. And what I mean by the government, not only the executive, but also the legislature. Like I've always said, that though we are three arms of government, we are one government. And so the national objective of the executive should at all times be the national objective of the legislature. So when we saw that this government under the president is prioritizing security, we said beyond calling the security chiefs into a room and the Minister of Finance to ask relevant questions, which is part of our mandate in 88 and 89 of the Constitution, what else are we expected to do? The same 88 and 89 mandates us to make laws. Legislative function is one of our duties. So screening the laws as it is, observing the gaps that are in our laws, and finding a way to block those gaps is a responsibility that we owe Nigerians. And that is what we rose up to do. And I must commend my colleagues. First, I must commend the president who is deliberate about doing this. The political will from the president has been an energy for the parliament to deep dive on this. And Mr. President did not just allow the parliament just make laws. There was an input from the Attorney General, people from the presidency, people from the executive, people from the public. There was public hearing. Everybody came together to say, let's make a law that will make us, safeguard the lives and properties of our citizens, which is the most important responsibility of government. And I am sure that having crossed this path, which I commend my members for leaving the oversight functions they were doing across the nation, some of them who are still under the pain of losing at the primary level of their political parties, they forgot about all those to come to join hands to make Nigerians feel safer today. I'm so proud of being a parliamentarian, in this moment of, pushing out a legacy that is going to outlive us. And we must remind ourselves that several parliaments have tried to do this over and over the years, but they couldn't make it happen. So I commend the Speaker of the House and the leadership of the House and the members who made this happen. And I'm sure that the Senate is working on their own, and in no distance time, the President will be putting his signatures down on this piece of legislation that will become a law all of us will be proud of.
All right, then.
The next movement of this bill now is to secure concurrence from the Senate and then push it down to the Houses of Assembly. I know the energy I saw in the conversations we have had with the Governors Forum, that they are going to work closely with their Houses of Assembly to make sure in a week or two after they receive this document that it will be back for Mr. President to put his signature.
All right, Honorable. I'm happy you highlighted one of the many challenges associated with a centralized policing system, which is a manpower shortage. A historic moment today as the House of Reps passes the State Police Bill, and on the program with me tonight is Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, explaining the strength of the bill and the biggest criticisms associated with the bill. Thank you for staying with us on the program, Honorable Benjamin Kalu. So Nigeria's current police force, just as you said, is already struggling with manpower shortages. The question I was asking you is, where exactly will state police officers come from? Are we looking at fresh recruits? Are we looking at transfers from the federal police, or both options are available for us as a nation? Also, have lawmakers calculated the number of officers states would need to recruit?
Thank you very much. What we have established is a provision in the Constitution that allows the creation of state police. And we have also stated that the Act of National Assembly will break down the nitty-gritty of how to operationalize the state police. And that means that we are unbundling state police from the exclusive legislative lease, where only the federal government makes laws on, to concurrent legislative lease. But that with qualification. Though it's unbundled to concurrent lease, it is with qualification. And those qualifications allow the state houses of assembly to make laws only to those specified parameters, like the management, the administration, like the appropriation, because the funding will come from the various states. So the state houses of assembly are bound to make appropriation acts that will be able to determine how much they want to spend on the management and administration. But the issues bordering on the duties, the powers, the role of the police, the state police, is to the exclusive reserve of the provisions of the National Assembly Act, which has specified what the rules supposed to be, what the power is supposed to be. This is to cure the fear that Nigerians have always had, and which has held this legislation down for donkey years. And what is that fear? The fear of abuse by the governors, fear of corruption, fear that this is going to be used to intimidate people, fear of funding. But the question becomes, how many people have the governors used the state high court to, send to jail? That is a question. When you talk about corruption, are there no corruption in all the federal systems at the moment, including the police? All over the world, there is corruption. So that shouldn't be holding us down.
All right.
In terms of funding, because we are leaving the responsibility to the state. They will determine how many division offices they are going to have. They're going to determine how many number they are going to need to operationalize this mandate that has been given to them. But the beautiful thing that we have done with this piece of legislation is that there is no vacuum that is created where there is incapacity of a state to operationalize this particular legislation. In that case, the status quo remains. And what is the status quo? The federal police that has the mandate to also handle not only what is in the exclusive legislative list, but also participate in the concurrent legislative list. So it is not only to the exclusive reserve of this, the state governors and the state assemblies to make laws on what and to operationalize what is in the concurrent list. When we find that the states are not living up to the standard that is going to be set by the National Assembly Act, in this case, what we call the repeal and reenactment of the Police Act. We are going to repeal the Police Act as a consequential amendment of what we have done with the Constitution, because the Police Act, if we leave it as it is without amending it, it will not reflect the wishes of the amendment we have done with the Constitution. So there's going to be a consequential legislative outing, which will mean repealing the Police Act as it is and then reenacting it. Okay. When we do that, we are going to put the nitty-gritty on how to put the framework, the structure, how to do the management and all the details. The commission, state service, police service commission, and all the rest of them. They will be laid out there, including the standard of operations. They will be laid out there. And a guideline that will help guide the state houses of assembly in case they want to make laws with regards to state policing. So that is what. So that will determine based on the capacity. You wouldn't expect Lagos State to hire the amount of police for their state police the same way other state will handle, or Ebonyi State will handle. It's just comparatively speaking, the population here is bigger than there. The responsibility is higher in one particular jurisdiction than the other. So you hire according to your need. You be able to build structures according to the implementation that you want to achieve impact with. So that is going to be every man cutting his coat according to his size. But the federal government will be there. If we find there is an issue, a gap in funding, a gap in maintaining the standard, the law has made it clear that if federal police steps in and takes over, so that there will be no breach, no gap in protecting lives and properties of citizens of Nigeria.
All right, Honorable, you may have done well in answering, some of the concerns of Nigerians, but quickly, a police force is only as effective as the tools it carry. And, we've seen how many criminal groups today engage with military-grade weapons. Does the bill clearly specify the types of weapons state police officers will be allowed to possess? Will they have the same firepower as the federal police?
They're going to have, depending on what we have put in within the parameters I mentioned to you, the issues that appear within the concurrent list, like armed robbery, kidnapping, the weapons that is used for such crime, they are different from the one you use for terrorism. They are different from what you use in safeguarding, the borders of Nigeria and all the major activities. But this will be specified in the Police Act that we are repealing and reenacting. So all those details will be there. But I will tell you, we are not trying to build a state police that will be inefficient. We are building a state police that will be capable to provide security for Nigerians. So, like I said yesterday, when I invited all the leaders of the House from the different 37 caucuses, state caucuses of the Federation to engage with the journalists at the press corps, I said hope is coming and hope is here. And I promised yesterday that we are going to get it done today. And like magic, the cooperation from all the quarters across the nation made it happen today. And I'm proud of my members. That is to tell Nigerians that we are not just sitting on the fence. The parliament is no longer sitting on the fence with regards to issues of insecurity. We are stepping in, and that with efficient laws that will help protect our lives better than it used to be. It's happening in America. It's happening in the UK. It's happening in Canada. And all these jurisdictions, they are enjoying the different layers of policing. And I think it's about time Nigerians begin to enjoy what this law brings on board. The impact analysis will be massive in the coming days.
All right. And I'm also so sure some Nigerians appreciate you and your colleagues. Thank you very much for speaking with me tonight. Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks. And that's Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu there, explaining the strengths of the bill while also addressing some of the biggest criticisms. Thank you very much for watching, everyone.